You are listening now to the Spirituality Now podcast, the show that is solely focused on practical spirituality, leadership, and mindset skills with the aim and purpose of supporting you master your life. Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast. Welcome to the Spirituality Now podcast. I am your host, and apparently I'm the guest today too, because the guest that we had scheduled today had an emergency and had to reschedule. So when someone doesn't show up, what is the duty of the soul? You show up. When someone doesn't show up, it's not for you to, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? How could they do that? I mean, emergencies happen, life happens. Anytime there's a problem in the world, anytime there's a complaint in the world, anytime something makes noise to you in the world, if you can make something about it, it's that situation is actually your call to show up. Anyways, again, my name is Ivonne Delaflor. Welcome for those of you watching the YouTube channel. Please subscribe, click the bell, share us with everyone. We're back in the YouTube world, and I'm excited to be back in the YouTube world. For many years, I had so many channels. I started when YouTube started. We had a lot of views, especially, I paid thousands and thousands of dollars for really fancy production. And you can see some of our videos in our old channels. They look so beautiful and they're so well cinematic kind of thing. But they didn't work as well as the organic thing. They didn't work as well as the messy thing. They didn't work as well as the real thing that the cat comes in. I don't have a cat. The dog comes in, the children cry, and actually that people can experience a genuine human being messing up, striving for, aspiring for doing things better. And I hope that our channel is an example of that. Obviously, we are aiming to better our filming mechanics here, our production. We have a company called Brilliant Futures Productions, and it has always served us well to improve. And that's our aspiration. But anyways, we're happy. So subscribe, click the link, all of that so you can watch, especially our beautiful and very smart and wise guests, which today, I am showing up for one of them. So I'm taking this opportunity. I recently gave a class, a teaching, passing on of a sutra, of a wisdom piece, of a treasure piece, of beautiful, powerful, conscious words from the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama Buddha. And even me saying this, like if you are listening to the audio of the podcast or you're watching the video, you can feel, hear, sense, see that I'm extremely humble because I think some of us forget that the words of the great are the words of the great, and the sacrifices and the beautiful mastery, all the disciplines that they have to do to be able to embody that wisdom that they were sharing. They were not sharing words like a lot of us do, just like aspirin effects, just like flashy marketing statements. They were really coming from experience. So the words arise, right? The thoughts, their actions were an arisal, an ascending from deep within of their core of experience. And sometimes we forget that, right? We read the Bible, we read the Bhagavad Gita, the I Ching, the Tao Te Ching, the words of the Buddha, the Dhammapada, all of those texts, and we forget the effort, the struggles, the faith that these incredible masters, teachers, the Son of God, Jesus, they had to go through for us to be able to read these words. And that's why in many cases, in many spiritual traditions, the word is seen as the bread. The word is seen as food. The word is seen as actually the bread of God, the food of the manna of the gods, that when you taste it, when you eat it, when you savor it, and when you really become it, that's when you eat something, right? You are what you eat most of the times. That's why nutrition status. And by the way, many years ago, do you know that I was a raw vegan nutritionist? I graduated and studied in the Institute of David Wolf, and I graduated. I graduated in so many things, fitness, all of that, and obviously I don't do it for the public. I do it for myself. But in that scenario, in that arena, I learned that you are what you eat most of the times. So it's an honor for me to speak about the Heart Sutra. I recently taught it. Beautiful, incredible group of committed, devoted practitioners of self mastery, devoted, committed practitioners of self realization, devoted, committed practitioners of true leadership. And we received these words of the Buddha. We went deep into the explanation of our own human interpretation of them, because to really understand what the Buddha meant, we have to awaken our Buddha mind. We have to be in that state of beingness, of compassion, of kind of the bodhisattva, which is a devoted being that offers his life, his soul for the good of all sentient beings in all times, in all places and spaces. So I'm going to make the best attempt to share with you about the Heart Sutra. So the Heart Sutra is a sutra that it's a wisdom piece sutra, words of wisdom, that was shared by Siddhartha Gautama to one of his most devoted students and apprentices and disciples, called Sariputra. And Sariputra one day came to the Buddha to ask him, why do we suffer? Is there a way, the Buddha, the Siddhartha, that we can end suffering for others and also for ourselves? And the response of Buddha was the Heart Sutra in itself. And I'm going to wear my glasses because I have some notes here. And so the Heart Sutra is a direction. It's a directive from the Buddha to Sariputra, who is really aspiring to walk the path of the Bodhisattva, the path of a compassionate one that is at the service of the whole. And he says that when the Bodhisattva, there was a Bodhisattva, his name was called Avalokiteshvara. And it's like a tongue twister for me. Like when I say the names of the Bodhisattvas, Kuan Yin is the easiest one, but Avalokiteshvara, which it was a male representation of Kuan Yin, it's like a tongue twister for me. Anyways, so the Bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, when he meditated deeply, began to see emptiness. This is a sutra of emptiness, not of what can I get from it. Actually, what you can get from it is being empty, like becoming that clear vessel that I don't know you, but I aspire to become more empty, more clear, more a clear conduct of source, a clear conduct of the divine. And so Avalokiteshvara, so that the emptiness of all these, the sufferings of life, or all the attachments, and so how it was empty. Suffering was empty. And he was able to cut the cords that attach him to suffering. It says that we suffer because we are so attached to suffering and to its meaning, and not because of suffering itself. And he found out, this Bodhisattva, in his beautiful practice, and this is what Siddhartha is telling Sariputra, that form is no other than emptiness. So when we see a challenge, when we see anything that we see as form, or project as form, predict as form, and perceive as form, is empty. Right? There is a emptiness, there is a hollowness, there is a cleanliness, there is an empty cup in everything that we see that is full, 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 full. And he found that form was no other than emptiness. And emptiness itself was form. So one of the challenges that people have with the Heart Sutra is like, is this annihilation of everything? Is this a nihilistic perspective? We're not eradicating everything. On the contrary, the more empty you are, the more you can experience. This is such a paradox and such, it's a conundrum, because you are like, you want your cup. I always have cups of tea all around my home, your home, and my office, everywhere. We want the cup of tea to be empty in order for us to be able to pour new tea. We can't keep pouring tea over and over again if the cup is full. If we have stagnated tea from a week ago and we try to pour a new beautiful oolong tea, a beautiful purer tea, it's just going to be overboard, and that's what we do to our minds. So this sutra, the practice of it, the embodiment of it, it really helps us clean our thoughts, clean all the tea ware that we have as thoughts, clean all the vessels that we have of our own experience, because we become hoarders of trauma. We become hoarders of meaning, of belief, and we keep putting in. And if you are a higher achiever, over overachiever, or however that's called, like me, that you are always aspiring for more, and the next training, the next challenge, and you have a student mind that you like to learn more, you like to have mentors. I have the most beautiful mentors. I was actually contemplating last night, guys, that I am so blessed. No matter what has been happening in my life, no matter how many mistakes I've made, no matter the challenges that I have survived, some that I have, going to into laziness, no matter what. I've been a devoted practitioner of spirituality, though. I've been consistently serving, but no matter what, I attract the best teachers ever. I have an incredible Vipassana teacher, and I was contemplating this last night. His name is Master Chaya, Thailand, and he's the founder of the Chaya Monastery. He's my Vipassana teacher, and incredible pure. I really feel that he's a pure bodhisattva. I have an incredible Zen teacher from the really Zen Korean tradition, Rinzi, I think it's called the tradition. Pardon my Zen language, my beautiful Zen practitioners. And his name is Master Ji Hang. And with him, we chant, we practice the Heart Sutra, and we practice the Great Dharani, and we practice a lot of Zen practices with him. And hopefully, I'm going to have him on the podcast. I'm excited to have all my teachers here. And then I have a Shaolin teacher for Tai Chi and Qigong, who is also the teacher of, he started doing the Shifu, the teacher of my son. We went with him to China. He gave us access to the Shaolin monastery, gave us training there. I had my first tea training experience at the Shaolin temple. It was just beautiful. And his name is Shifu Liping Wang, the founder of the Shaolin Tai Chi Heritage Cultural Center in Las Vegas. And then I have a teacher that I speak about him every podcast. He's a mindset, leadership, really resilience, about relentlessness and winning. Mr. Tim Grover, who was the mentor of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Anyways, back to the Heart Sutra. Why I love this sutra is because it really is a sutra of emptiness. It's a sutra that it helps you be so clean that you begin without notice to attract the best, to attract more natural flow, to detach from suffering while experiencing suffering, to detach from pain while going through pain, to detach from things while still caring for them. And it is hard to express in a video, on a podcast, on YouTube, on any single platform here with words, what these words convey. Again, it's such a paradox. You really have to be devoted practitioner of this. I've been practicing and listening and hearing and repeating the Heart Sutra since 2012. But it was not until last November when things began to change abruptly in my life, and so beautifully, because I could see the beauty of it afterwards. I could see the beauty of it because immediately, my business began to soar. When certain people left my life, which I thought I was dying for, I thought I was, oh my gosh, life is never going to be the same. I was right. In that case, I was right. I was wrong when I was trying to be right about certain people in my life being good people to have around. I was so wrong about that. Anyways, so when that happened, my vessel was so shattered. All my beliefs, all my dogma, all the projects that I had in the future, and they shattered so much, and the cup began to get clean. And immediately my business began to soar. Relationships began to clean up. In incredible people, masters, teachers, opportunity begin to show up. Now, this is not because I did anything. It's because I undid things, and nature helped me undo what was overboard on the cup. It was too stagnated, too dirty, too pretense, and it just poured itself out. So the Heart Sutra, I love it for that, because it has a transmission of emptiness. And I love, and I like to repeat this part, and I've shared it with the community too. On the Heart Sutra, it states that all Buddhas, that can be you, that can be me. I aspire to attain Buddhahood, Buddha Dharma, the body mind, the clean, clear state, awakened mind. Aspire to be like the Christ. But it says that all Buddhas, and I love this, such a powerful statement, of the past and the present, and Buddhas of the future time. Look what a powerful declaration. The Buddha declaring this past, present, and future. So, for those of you who think that Buddhism, which is not a religion, by the way, is a system of, I think it's one of the most powerful systems of inner education, of inner mastery, of path of Buddhahood, Zen, Buddhism, be it Mahayana or Theravada, the purity of the teachings of self mastery are astounding for me. Now, I do want you to know that I'm a Christian by choice. I got baptized in 2019, and maybe we'll put a short here on YouTube about that day. It was such a powerful thing, and I get a lot of pushback from the Christian community, my Christian friends, sometimes because I put pictures on the media with my mentors, right, with the Zen master, Master Jihan, with my Buddhist teacher, with and I always wonder, like, if Jesus was still alive, that he is in a metaphorical spiritual way, but will he be telling you, don't talk to the Buddhists, don't talk to the Islamic people, don't talk to these person because they are different religion than us? Christ, Jesus was not a Christian until governments and religion and created that structure to hold his teachings. But I'm a devoted, practitioner of what the Christ leadership is, and I hope to make it proud. Anyways, so imagine someone like the Buddha saying that in Buddhism, that a lot of beliefs is like the only powerful thing is the now. And here we have Siddhartha Gautama talking about the future. Just let that sink in for a moment. So he says that all Buddhas of past and present, Buddhas of future time, using the prajna wisdom, and prajna means wisdom. Prajna is the Prajna Paramita Sutra, is the heart sutra, the core of the perfection of wisdom. We are aspiring to perfect it. It's not only to attain wisdom, it's not only to be wise. Now, can you be better? Can you polish yourself more? Can you adapt in a way that you are one really with nature, that we are, but in a really conscious kind of godlike kind of co-creator awareness of it all? So Buddhas of future time, using the prajna wisdom, doing this practice of the Heart Sutra, come to full and perfect vision. And this is an aspiration of the people I serve, my personal practices too. And this is a wish I have for humanity, that we can have perfect vision. And what does that mean? You know how they say that without vision, the people perish? I believe that. But I believe that without the proper vision, people are going to perish even more, because you can have vision. I want to create all these big things. I want to be known by creating this big movie. I want to do such great things. I want to just take care of this and my family, and we may have this vision, but without doing the inner work, with having the illusion of have done the inner work, with having all these dogmas and fakeness and niceness about those, that is just a pretense. It's one of my teachers, meditation teachers, that passed many years ago. It was for meditation and technology. He said to me, the most dangerous thing is spiritual glamour. When you believe you're a guru, when you believe you're a teacher, when you believe you have any authority to tell others what to do, when you are in reality a chota guru, a blind leading the blind. You don't have experience, you just have the knowledge, you just have the accumulation of data, of words. You are living by the blueprint of the world instead of living by the blueprint of your soul. So all Buddhists of past and present, Buddhas of future time, using the prajna wisdom, come to full and perfect vision. What a beautiful aspiration. What a beautiful thing to tap into the wisdom of the heart, to tap into the wisdom of practice, of diligence, of discipline, of compassion, of picking up yourself after you have made a mistake, of making amends with yourself and others, of emptying the cup, like Bruce Lee used to say, empty your cup, right? Be formless, shapeless, like water. And we want to become like water. And the Heart Sutra is a venue for that. It's like the perfect tea that we're going to drink from the divine. So when you hear the Heart Sutra, it is said, or it's called the peerless. It's peerless mantra. It's piercing, it's penetrating, and it also is an awakening in you. When you hear it, it is said that you begin to awaken. You begin to receive the wisdom of truth. It's like if the Heart Sutra, when you listen it's like if you light up an incense, and the smoke and the fragrance of the incense begins to, you begin to notice it. And when you keep hearing it and practicing, it's like you are pouring tea in your cup of wisdom. And then when you keep practicing and really meditating upon it, it's like if you drink the tea and then you can be calming. And the end of the sutra, and I'm not going to explain this because it will take us 10,000 podcasts, 10,000 years. That's why the Heart Sutra is practiced in so many traditions, in Zen traditions, in Mahayana. It comes mostly from Mahayana Buddhism, Theravada, but in Korea, in Japan, it's just so beautiful. But it's been thousands of years, so I don't attempt, neither I'm capable of, explaining the Heart Sutra in a little podcast, in a little YouTube video for you all. But how it closes, just feel the transmission of it. It closes with Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhiswaha. Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhiswaha. Gate Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhiswaha. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, those of you who follow us on YouTube. Help us here grow. And I really wish you a life of emptiness. And with emptiness comes fulfillment. And when fulfillment comes emptiness. When you are really fulfilled, when you find the nature of your heart, the nature of your mind, you can have things but not be attached to them. You can create a lot but not being attached to, this is mine. You really become like a planet, like a galaxy, like a river, like a mountain that is so content to be its nature because it knows it to be one with the whole and the whole in the one. So I love you. Thank you so much. You two friends, click the link, click the bell, subscribe, share us, and Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes Friends, Amazon Podcast, Google Podcast, wherever the podcasts are, please share us, subscribe with us. We're philanthropically based. You can see we have no commercials. We sell nothing. Sometimes we may offer something that I personally like. And I'm going to be doing a podcast about tea solely, since I recently associated with the best tea people in the world, the best tea company, truly the most pure teas. But we're commercial free. So you can get the wisdom of our beautiful guests purely with no distractions. So we love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week with another podcast in YouTube and YouTube or audio. We'll see you next time. Un besito. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere where you prefer to listen to your podcast. Make sure to check the links to everything we mentioned in this episode. For more news, future or past episodes, or for any other inquiry, please visit our website at delaflorteachings.com. Once again, thank you for listening to the Spirituality Now podcast.